Alright. Today we're doing a bit of painting rather than the line work. So I just did the grand only here. And just want to do a few more things. I want to keep the paintwork light as possible. Excuse me, I just eaten something. So let me just get these colours. I do want to just maybe do something like this. Oh, 1 second. Just like paintbrush. No. I wasn't really happy with this yesterday. Take this away. I think I might keep the paintwork very simple. Just do like a three-step kind of typical three-step type color. But you got your base color, your highlights, and your shadows. I think I'll keep it like that. Like this needs to kind of like just something like this. I think like I'll do it again with the wrong brush. Can I delete that brush from my favorites? Thank you. Remove. There we go. Annoying brush. Alright. And I can do a bit here. Let's see. We might go a bit higher in detail. When it comes to like bits and bobs, but let's see. Let's just fade this out a bit. Oops. we do Mr. Soap now. We make him a bit darker, I think. It's a bit too much. Let's get on the base layer. We already have kind of like digital guidelines on here, right? I just use those, we see. I think I might up the opacity of the line work here. So, oh wait a minute, it's not even at 100%. That's better. He wasn't even at full power. Oops, and I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Let me just lock these. Oh yeah. what's really kind of annoying, and I know I could probably get it figured out, but I need to do a bit more research, is not being able to play your favorite music on YouTube. That is the most annoying thing. I mean, I could get some AirPods. I do have some AirPods. I could put those on my in my ear while I draw, but you know, I don't know. It's just as soon as you get one copyright, whether it's a strike or not, YouTube just stops all the traffic to that video. It's very irritating. And it's like the opposite of what you really should be doing as a platform, because you're supposed to introduce your platform. Introduce your platform to everyone, right? Without the consumer, it is an empty shell. I hope one day people can figure it out and create a platform that is not going to be hindered by I need to change the colour of the Granddaddy's skin compared to his. A platform that's not hindered by all this copyright BS. I mean, at the end of the day, all of these people get paid. Like the elites get paid so much money, man. Like football people are on like £22 million a fucking year, or something stupid like this. Like you don't need that much money, you know. Films like Disney, or the old, not Disney, but Lucasfilms used to make something like 3 to 4 billion every film. Depending on the episode. As soon as Disney took over, it went down to shit, of course, because they didn't have to write a story. All they had to write is a bunch of, cartoon type deals. So yeah, demonetization it just puts people up. I feel like not being able to listen to music. I know there's free music like Epidemic Sounds, but compared to actually proper music, it's really not that great, you know. I think the skins are pretty close together. You're going to notice it. Yeah, it's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll probably make Sovereign's skin a bit darker. It's more like this. I feel like Sovereign's skin's more like that. Yeah, let's change that to that. I think could just cheat. It's right. He's got slightly more darker skin, kind of like a I guess you could say a Mediterranean maybe skin, maybe, I don't know. What did I just do? And where do the cleanup layer? feel like this is better. Separate the skin, especially when you've got this much noise in a picture. It's sometimes a good idea just to separate it all. And you'll be able to see, you can see the difference now. A little bit darker than I wanted, but it's okay. We go from this to that. Should be right. Whoops. All right, let's fix this as well. And I'll start adding some kind of depth to it. Again, obviously, me being a single artist working on the project, I don't want to put huge detail, and I'm only doing this just for a bit of fun because this is the most things I enjoy about making these comic books is putting them in the positioning them. Like I've got this kind of like line texture thing here, more typical in like manga and stuff. I like, it's a way of expressing the story, and I guess you could say it's a hybrid of manga and manhwa, maybe a bit of manhu, but I like this better. He does look a bit like a clown, but we'll sort it out, we'll figure it out, we'll get the textures right. It's easily done. Okay, so that will be the first, and then I think we'll just maybe we'll sort out the blush kind of in a minute. Let's go to the dark panel. Let's lock the base. Let's just grab the skin color, and then I go a bit darker. That should be right. Is the base. Let's get rid of that before it drives me crazy. Right. Okay, what I do is I will just have a few streaking lines come up here. And then maybe a few here. And just get the brush and start fading them out a bit. Just creating some shadows where the hair is. I make this a bit darker. thought I'd get some streaming in before the annoying drug addicts come wake up. Living in a hellhole. One day, hopefully, I'll move out of this dump and we can get some peace and quiet and do Omnipotent every single day. That would be a dream, right? Just drawing every day, colouring, painting, talking about the law. Well, that sounds like a good life to me. Maybe living in a caravan or something like that. I don't know. Something simple. I don't need a expensive place. I just need a roof over my head, food in my stomach. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Alright. This is pretty good. Let's just get rid of these. Give it more. Soften them up a bit. I keep these nice and sharp. I think I will move on to the hair in a minute. See, I will touch stuff up and also, when it's all done, then I'll start to do the more refined parts, I guess. Alright, let's do this hair. So we're on the base, right? We're on dark. Let's do this hair and base. It's roughly here. It's a light colour grey. And then go down here. Yeah. So his hair's grey. It's very light with the base, and then we dark it quite a lot. That's normally how I do my main antagonist hair. And as I add the hair, you'll notice that I will start to be a bit more, what's the word? Less sloppy, because otherwise it's more work, right? So you see things like here, I need to kind of like, realistically, doing it on another layer would be a better option. This one, it is this one. Yeah, on another layer would be more realistic, but it's whatever. I might even come back to these later on and do a complete, overhaul. Let's see. The main goal is just to get the episodes out. Obviously, I want to do this every now and then because even if I don't release it, I don't want to lose this side of my skill. So, and I'm always improving, right? So, let's not forget this is my first comic book ever created. I mean, I'd say professionally, looking at it like that way, it is. I've made little tiny comic books when I was a kid. Obviously, nowhere near to this level. We didn't have digital. We didn't have digital screens back then. that you could paint on. I think we did, at least. I remember coming back from school telling my mum that I used a thing called a computer, and she knew what it was because she was an accountant. But to me, it was like rocket science using a computer. And we were taught to use it in the most boring way you can possibly imagine too. So we would like use all the shortcuts. We'd use all the shortcuts or learn those things first. And then we would like open up Word and start typing in Notepad and Word, Excel, whatever it's called, back in the day. Boring stuff. And then I can't remember how it went. It was something like, if you want to draw an image, open up a program called Paint. I was like, Paint? Yeah, this sounds a bit more like me. And I started drawing stuff with the mouse, right? And obviously the mouse is extremely hard to draw with, you know. But I learned the technique how to use my mouse in such a way that I can draw, you know, good like this in a way. And that's kind of where it's really started off with me. You know, I always liked the pen and paper, but something about computers I liked. Sadly, when I actually started to do a college course, I hated it because they were teaching me everything I didn't want to learn, which is basically like the names of the stupid shapes, you know, like polygon and things like hexagon and, you know, square, triangle, all those crappy, you know, things. And, you know, obviously you know the generic square, cube and all that stuff, but, you know, you learn things like hexagon, polygon. There's loads of them. I can't even remember half of them. And it just the entire course became like that for me, where I was learning. In my eyes, it felt like I was learning stuff that was irrelevant. And I remember having an argument with one of my school teachers and saying, "Miss, why the hell are we learning algebra? I'm never going to use algebra." And she was like, "Well, you never know, we might start using it in the future." And I just looked at her like she was the most dumbest creature like known to mankind. And to this very day, we don't use fucking algebra. So like that's kind of that's kind of like where my head was at when it came to college. It's not a good mindset to have, really bad mindset to have, because you end up looking at life in a way that pretty much just makes everything seem dull. But in some ways it is a productive way of thinking as well. And I think this has helped me a lot when it comes to things like AI generation. Because there's still a lot of movement going around about AI and it's bad for this and blah 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 blah. But the thing is like that, you know, you can say that to a lot of things, and we're not going to stop the planet from burning. We're not going to save animals, save lives. This is not in our control. We don't control these things. The government does, or the elites do. And the sad truth of the matter is that people with more money in the world, they have more domination over the world. And I've come to notice this a lot lately. And we need to, instead of whine about it, we need to just accept that these people are assholes, and you know, just let them do it. Just let them do it. If they want to destroy the planet, let them do it. Because we are very fleeting creatures. We do not have much time on the planet, as far as I know, unless we go to the soul realm and reincarnate. Who knows? That could be a thing. I don't know. But I do know that, you know, if there is no such thing as an afterlife, then you should probably not waste your day. It's easier said than done. I get that. You know, but that's the way I looked at things when it comes to things like that and AI. I don't hate AI. I just don't like the way people are using it. And it's like a hammer. It can do a lot of destruction. It can do a lot of damage to a property. You know, but do you have to use the hammer in that way? If you don't want something and something needs to be destroyed, maybe it's hammer time. But if something needs to be built, you know, you could use that hammer to build something, right? So that's the kind of way I look at life. Try to, at least. It's a constant battle living where I am. And sometimes there's just no logic in what people do. But I try not to give up. It's when you give up faith, whether it's religion or just yourself, you start to question everything, and that's where dangerous thoughts start to come. You know, I think everyone should have a mental health day, and they should, you know, try their best to remain in their zone as much as they can. That's very hard given the fact that people try to convert your zone, your little bubble area, into theirs, which is always annoying. You have people that are constantly feel like they're narcissists and they feel like they're entitled. But yes, this is the problem of the world. But I think it says something in the Bible, like something like, anything that's out of your control, you shouldn't be concerned of. And it's quite true. Because if you can't control something, then why bother to let it stress you out? You know? What am I doing here? So base, dark. I had to think there for a second. But yeah, moral of the story is I liked computers. Then I got the trainer course to learn art digitally, that is, and then I started to hate it. And the moral of the story is I was doing something that I didn't like, and that basically made me quit drawing for about 5 years. Not completely, but just like I would pick up pen like maybe every 6 months, which is not a good idea. You should always pick up your pen every week, at least, minimum. I feel like that's a good time, you know, because you need your brain does need to calibrate. Not drawing actually increases your artwork, if you guys don't know, because if you're wearing your brain out all the time, your brain doesn't process everything, and it will shut a certain thing down. The best way to learn is to do the most important things straight away. By doing that, your brain is fully fully into learning mode, and you will absorb the lesson of that day quicker. It's typically around 3 to 4 hours, then your brain shuts off again. So in the first 3 to 4 hours of your life, of your morning, sorry, do the most important thing. Whatever it is, do that. You'll learn a lot quicker. So they can a lot better than I thought, actually. Right, so that's the base level there. We do the upper panel layer on. So let's get his eyes. They're like a crystal blue. Is his eyes blue? Yeah. His is kind of like this. It's very vibrant. Yeah. So just finishing that topic off. You can go 2 ways in life. You can do what you want and be passionate about it. You can get passion in other people's work, you know. Or you can say, this is not really my ultimate goal. I want to do something different. And, you know, cut out all the jargon. It's like AI, right? You know, all these bloody subscriptions. You need a subscription for like voices. You need a subscription for generation. You maybe need a subscription for video making AI, and eventually you have 20 subscriptions, and you realize that even your videos are not that popular, and you just wasted all your money. Like that's been a thing for me when I've done my comic book. I've you know, went down the subscription lane and I was like, let's get these done, because I have to use quite a bit of AI, let's just put it that way, for my comic books, because I am a single developer making this project, and it would take me about 70 years to get the entire project done, which is fucking retarded. Excuse my language. I do not like the fact that I'm heavily against the fact that all of these like mangas and all that are completely gatekept by AAA studios. I hate it. And for once in our lives, and this is everyone, AI has managed to solve this problem. So being a solo, here comes the motorbikes. So irritating. So yeah, being a solo artist or developer, or whatever you want to call yourself, has kind of leveled the playing field, and that's really nice. Alright, so let's get some, let's lock that, let's go for the dark bits. Let's go for the hair, and we go for a dark colour. This should do the trick. And then we'll just start. I should go for the really dark stuff here. It's just like behind the hair. And then just get that done. And I might make the shadows are okay. So let's get a few of these done in the back. darker but not too dark colour. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that works. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some lines. I'm just going to shape them in. That should create a texture I typically like in my bit too bright, my manhwa, sorry. And what I do is just grab a bit here, then just delete it, and then I just go over those lines again with the airbrush, the smudge tool. And just creates little ripples. Little depth, so yeah, that's what I like to do with mine. Otherwise, it's just I like to have that nice balance between bland and what's the word? I guess you could say somewhat detailed. I don't know. Clean up as much as possible here. And sometimes I'll put a light, so I do the 3 steps, right? So I do base layer, then kind of like dark kind of like blend, like what I'm doing now, and then I do like highlights, which is like, you know, so the grey will be like pure white almost, and I blend that in with the smudge tool as well, which then gives it like a shimmy effect, which is quite nice. And I've got to actually add this. do as well. Sometimes when you put the image down, you start doing your painting, you don't notice stuff, especially when you're zoomed in, so it's always good to zoom out. I did a top bit later on. So yeah, going back and forth, sometimes it's kind of needed. There goes my chair again. Is my phone charged up? I just want to make sure. I had to reinstall Streamlabs, so I don't know if the chat's working. But this should save on YouTube anyway. Hopefully. It's a bit of a hot day today. Well, it's a bit sticky. I won't say it's hot, but it's a pretty sticky day. That's the trouble with doing artwork is you always sitting down, right? And it's not good for you all that sitting down. It's done some pretty bad stuff to my back, I think, over the years. I think that's not even hair. That's just the background. Yeah. I also just noticed that Sovereign has grey hair, which basically means I'm gonna have to change this background. I wanted it red because that way, maybe like a bluish red to represent his anger in this panel. So there's quite a lot of grey on the page. Yeah, so I think like what I might do is a peach red, like a peach red. So maybe like let's see, this is a good color. Something like this, maybe a bit more saturated. Maybe something like this. We needed more red, didn't we? Something like this, maybe. Maybe we have it's going to be hard. I don't want to clash with the skin color. We can experiment. Let's go BG. So let's do like a yellow. And we'll see what this is like for the background. Why is BG there? It should be down here. Oh, I know why. Because yeah, okay, that's alright. So for the first layer, I think this is good. I think this is good. And then what I'll do is I'll add a bit of peach to it. It's gonna maybe clash with his hair, but we'll see. Let's see what it looks like afterwards. let's add now let's add the peachiness, and we'll show it on effects panel. Let's make the brush big, and I think what we do, let me just see what I can do with this before we do anything. And I just try and drag these out a bit, make them look a bit more realistic, like clouds, kind of. And then we just add like a darker version, and then we just see how this works. Yeah, something like this would be good. Just add a bit more detail into here, just to bring the background alive a bit. And I think I might just do one here. And this could be a big one. Gives a bit more depth, and just lighten everything up a bit. What I might do is just add some sort of blurriness to it, like a really really red, like a passion red. Let me see what this does. Something like this, I think, is good. Just to lighten it up a little bit, and then we'll start scrubbing away all the crap that we don't need. I'm going to try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try it. Kind of works. Let's see how it looks like in a minute. Maybe it's too much now, but we'll see. Let's just look that. And let's clean up the image now. And the Grand Ernie does have a white top, but it might be I might make it slightly grey. Let me do Sovereign's van braces in a minute. What is this? See a little bit just there. A little bit just here. Right. And this is BG. Right, so we need to go to BG now and clean up these. can see like now that if I go here, I can get rid of this. Oh, it's not under here. What is it? Oh, it's under here. Okay. So you can see like there's still multiple layers of paint, but I don't really need to do much. I can just go over it. But for cleaning's sake, we will try our best just to get it nice and clean. Sadly, you guys won't see a lot of this being uploaded, like the colors, because I am currently just trying to get the black and white comic down while trying to do this as much as possible, so you get a bit of a kind of a breakdown on what it will look like eventually. And you know, I'm quite passionate when it comes to painting. I like painting a lot, digital painting. So this will probably be it. For the majority of it, it will just be basic because again, time and if I take more time doing this, I take away more time from YouTube, more time from the comic books, comic book itself. So everything is more like a balancing act. I will keep everything balanced. So until I can get maybe someone to help me out with that, and then I can spend all my time on the digital painting side, which I would prefer. That being said, a lot of the, again, AI helps with time, right? So if I was to do one piece, right, with my skill level and all that stuff, without any problems with time, restraint, or anything like that, it would still take me probably 150 years, maybe more, to make that. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It'd probably be more, to be honest. That's probably being generous. It's not doable in one lifetime. It's just not. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate when it comes to AI, because you can realize your dream in some ways. If this is what you want to do, then great, do it. Doesn't matter what other people think, you know. I mean, obviously, you make it for them, I get that, but at the same time, you've got to be realistic. You've got to be like, oh, this guy's a solo developer, you know. But it's very difficult for people to understand these concepts these days. They go their entire life wanting stuff now, and I think it's like TikTok and just the YouTube algorithm has fried everyone's brain. No one's patient these days, and no one really. Everyone speaks and reacts in a way that wants them to get it now. They want it now. And now, getting it now is the norm for a lot of them. Like that's what's normalized them. And to be honest, it's really sad because everything takes time. Everything takes time. Repainting, and there goes my chair. That's a bit better, a bit more clean now. Right, let's lock all the panels and go back to base. Get a nice red for Sovereigns, Vanguard, and yeah, so let me just go like here. That's okay. I think it actually does need to be pretty dark. Yeah, I put the base and then we can line it up as we go. We'll darken it even. We can make it a bit lighter. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do it like this. It's a little bit too in my face. Yeah, like that. Oops. Whoops. And then we want this bit here. And let's get a kind of like a gold color. Let's just get a reference for the gold. So it is kind of like that. Yeah. Let's keep it a bit more neutral gold like this. So it's more like yellow. And then we darken it, lighten it, and then that will give it. Let's go up a bit. There you go. Then that will kind of give it the pop. It's a little bit too dark. It's a little bit too saturated. There you go. Let's get this one done. And then we'll start putting shadows in. Well, let's fix the skin first. We'll do the skin. And then we'll start doing the shadows. let's get the skin down a bit. So I believe, yeah. Let's get this. Like this, maybe a bit too light. Right, so let us, as the base layer is done, let's get the dark bits and bobs put in. Right, so things like here, right there, yeah, will be dark. There's just a few things, maybe like a shadow here. I don't know. Let's start adding a bit more depth into there in a minute. Let's just get these done. So the little bits and bobs where the light will be trapped, like here, and maybe there'll be a shadow just here where the ring will be casting. But this will be like a sharp shadow, it won't be smudged. But these will definitely be kind of just smudged in like this, and they may make more sense once I do the light. Right, that'll make more sense later. Yeah, I'm not really happy with the skin colour. It's a bit too pale for me. It's not too bad though. What I do is I'll add some red, I think. I think that was, yes, effects. So let me just add like, what I will do is delete all the colors and just pinch this color. That should be the one. Because if I copy it with that on top, it's gonna do some weird stuff. So this is where most of the blood is going to be shown. So stuff like here, just here. I don't know if that's picking up on YouTube or not, but I can see it. So might make it a bit more red, a bit more ready. That's better. I mean, it's hard to tell at certain bits, but here's obviously you can tell a bit more, but yeah, we can add maybe a bit here. Gives it a bit more kind of depth, you know. Just got to be very careful not to go too overboard, because otherwise it's noticeable, right? And now I think we will do. I do the close in a minute. I think we do the like the shine, like the highlight. So let's add a new layer. It's called shine. And I think we are pretty much done. And I gotta do this as well. Actually, let's do this. Let's do the shine on that, because this is kind of where it kind of, you know. So I think we have a top shine and shadow low, because we've got shadows down here. So I feel like that is a good representation of what the light is doing. I mean, when it comes to shadows, I do not want to be, especially when it comes to manga or just anime in general, to be honest, I do not want to be law accurate with shadows, because it just, I don't know why, it just ruins it. It makes it too realistic. And yeah, I don't like that particularly now, because there's a curve here. This needs to be in a weird shape, so it actually needs to be like this. So actually, instead of deleting that, I could maybe bow it like this. Maybe, I don't know. Pretty intrusive, but it's fine. We'll just get the layer down first. Well, that is the wrong color. Get the layer down first, and then we'll build it up. This is also wrong, because it's like this, the bow would be like this. Yeah. I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. It's more like flat, more like that, I think. And let me just. In fact, what we'll do is we do this. Ow, chest pain. We just do that. That kind of gives it a better stable feel, I guess. I don't know. I do another clean up later on. Now I'm gonna do shine. 2 levels of shine I normally do. So this would be the first one, and it will be like here. So we want it to be like this, going curving like that, because it's starting to curve there, so it makes sense to do that. Let me just fix it. And let me just kind of fade it back a bit. And then we would get a pure white. And then this would be like the sun glow kind of deal. So what I like to do with this is have it stretched out so that it's a drusen, and then there goes my headset. Then kind of dissipate it. And then once you've got enough of that going, you can then go back to a pure white. It should stand out above this. And then you could just do something like this. And then you do the smallest brush, and you just put a little fade on it, just a little tiny one, like this. You still wanna have that nice brush line, and that just kind of gives it the effect. It's a little too what's the word? It's a little too much here. Let's see here. I did it on the wrong layer, but it's okay. And if you just want to get that line back, just do it again like this. I should do that. And once you do that to everything, you start to see it kind of connect. So let's get these colors again. And after you've done that, you just fiddle with it and until it looks kind of looks right. Just keep playing with it until it's agreeable in your head, I guess. See, that's a bit better right here. It's sort of fading in quite well. That's kind of what you want to get. You want to get the fading in. Right, let's do the sun glow. It should be about here. My headset is going mental, so I'm gonna have to charge it in a minute. Let's actually do that now. Alright, so let's get this. And you could, I guess, just go down here slightly. You're going to go over this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. and then you get your pure whites. Then you just do a little line here, have that connecting to this part, and then have this one go here, and it should fade like that. And what you can, what you can do is go noticeable, and then just go in and just have a fade like that. And that's the car alarm. And then just a slight fade, like so. There we go. And that should be good to go. Not my best work, I can definitely tell you. Does anyone ever switch off a car alarm? Or are you just gonna let it go? There we go. Genius. He knows how to use an off button. Outstanding. So, mirror this and just do some crazy lines like this. This is what I like to do. And then, because this is where the shadow is, and then we just, yes, it's the right, making sure I'm on the right page. And then get the smudgy tool, and I just blend it in just quickly. And there should be like just a little bit here. Well, I like to do this because it just separates the line. And what I do is I push it in together like this. And I just like that. Okay. And it will blend in here. And then we get a lighter version of this. And we repeat the process of this on here. So if you want to make sure that it's, so let's get that red. We want to make sure that it is the same line here. Just want to go to, I think it's shine or effects. Yeah, it's shine. And just get rid of this. Dark paint. Wait, is that meant to be? Ah, that's meant to be on the other one. The layers. Layers, layers, layers. Lock that, and we go on to here. Just quickly, yeah, it does need to be kind of like that, a waviness to it. takes time doing all this. It's a bit difficult for me to stream because obviously noise levels around me today's been quite good, but yeah, I say that now it will start kicking off. They're normally active around this time. Funny enough. So we'll see. Maybe they're burnt out of being annoying. Hopefully. Right, so just give it a little. I'll kind of just defeat the purpose of the line, but it's alright. We do what we can here. We don't strive for perfection. Perfection is for people that never get their work done. Right, and then we'll go for a very light pink. That kind of is the light pink. So we might create does it need it? Yeah, maybe it does. We'll see. We'll create the whiteness to it now. And then we'll add the rest later on if it needs more. We will do that. Make that ending. Kind of the same, right? But whatever. Yeah, I think this maybe. Yeah, it's not because this is not. Not really pure. I'm just trying to think if I want it to be pure whites. I think I'll try pure whites, and rather than a second. Yeah, let's just try that. So this is. Yeah, I think this is getting better. Where is the light pink? Let's try this. It's a bit too. Yeah, so I think I am gonna need to do the pink bit here, and then we'll do the white. I think sometimes it just needs like 3 layers rather than 2. And this is like an example of it. And then we can add like the extreme white now. And I will have to fix bits and bobs here, but whatever. So this should make it like kind of pop. Come on, drawn out. It's doing that weird thing again. Let's grab it from here. There you go. I am getting really hot this all of a sudden. Right. And then we just blur this out. Let's see what that looks like. Looks a bit intruding here. And then we add just one more line, and we won't blur this one. And if we do, it will be very, very dim. I think what I will do is just create a might be too thick, to be honest. Yeah, I think it is. I should do, and then it needs to be a little bit bigger. Maybe that was a good size actually. Let's go back to 22. Yep. And we just shrink it down here. And then we add a pure line just here. And we need to make that smaller. Let's do a 10. And then we get the smudge tool. And then we just do one more, a bit smaller this time. Let's do a 5. And that should start there. And now we get the smudge tool again, but this time very small. We just want to tilt it off the edges. Bit more, I think. A few breaks. Okay. And let's get this sorted out. And then we will do just do a little thing that I like to do. And then we do a small one. And a little tiny one here. Don't know if that's actually, I think I would need it here. Let's just tape this off real quick. Yeah, so let's just put it over here. Whoops. And we will go out here. And then we just get the brush again. like to do, stuff like that. And it's not too bad. I might smooth this up a bit, maybe add a bit more darkness to this bit, push this up a bit, and then just give it that. I'm just going to add a bit more darkness to here to really get the kind of colours going. I might do the same with the red as well. Just put a bit more shading in here. And of course you can go however you want to go, but just keep in mind that, you know, if you want something out quickly, it's going to be less decent, right? And so on and so forth. And you can just do that to everything basically. So for me, I want, the main goal is to get it out. So we're probably going to be leaving it around about here with the paint inside. Might do a few touch-ups here and there. Needs this. Oh, he does have a gold. This is supposed to be kind of like gold here, which is supposed to be on the base color. Grab the base color. So let me just disable everything. Keep the base true. There we go. And yeah, there'll be a lot of tidying up to do. But I'll probably do the rest of this later on. Some artists just go even basicer, like very much more basic than this. I mean, if you look at the old Dragon Ball, I think Dragon Ball Z, you notice that their color palettes are very, very, what's it called, basic, very basic, and yeah. So I'm not too happy with the I think we can actually probably get rid of that. I don't think that works. I think that's fine. And then we just need to fix this. And I think for the shirts, obviously, I do things like buttons might be black, or maybe a gold, I'm not too sure yet. But I think I will have the shirt just a variant of white. So let's see, maybe this might be too brown. Yeah, grey. So let's maybe like this. A little bit too much, I think. Bit better. It is supposed to be white. I just want a little tiny bit of, yeah, I guess this. I guess you can't even notice that. Okay, I guess it's going to be like this. It's more of a greyish than a white, but it's whatever. This is like his Oni ring, so that needs to be gold. Which is like a little tiny Easter egg that we're putting in. I'm going to explain what the hell it is, but okay, it's an artifact, you know. It's an artifact. You didn't hear it from me. Which is quite funny because I'm the only one making this because it's mine. Okay. I think we'll make the buttons either black or gold. I'm not 100% sure yet. Black is calling me more than anything. Let's have a look. Let's not make it black, but let's make it, you know, city. Let's have a look. Oh, that looks really good. I guess these are cup links. I don't know. Do cups have buttons? Yeah, I like the black more for some reason. And then I'm not sure what we're gonna have for this colour. We do need to fix his eye before I forget. What colour did I put that on? Dark? Yeah. So let's fix his eye because one of them is normal and the other's not. So did I go? No, I went dark like this and then went in. Yeah. Let's just do that. And then I believe it's all on one layer. And I just upped it, didn't I? Let's just grab some colours here. And we can go a bit more. yeah, I can go a bit more wild on the colours if I wanted to. I think I did start colouring in the suit. I don't know why that's doing that. I think I did colour in the suit. It's like yeah, it's like a bluey colour. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Rather than yeah, let's do that. You can't even notice it. Yeah, they're too close together. It's fine. Yeah, so this panel, I think, I'm not too sure what I'm doing with this, but a bluey white with a dim colour kind of pulls me here. Maybe like this. Do you want to kind of keep it flat? I used to do very bright colours, which is typical manga, rather than manhwa. Manhwa is very saturated colours. Though I will say, solar leveling it has 2 steps, solar leveling. The first 3 episodes is very manhwa, and then it kind of, the colours start to pop as the hero gets more power. And I think that is maybe an art design change or something, I'm not too sure. I have no clue. I'm now thinking that maybe this panel will be better served if I just got rid of everything here. These are the things that constantly change when doing artwork, at least for me. So now I'm thinking that maybe I should have this color. Why is it doing that? Oh, because I've got it on an opacity level. So what is the actual, is it BG? Yes, it's BG. That makes sense. So why is it not really that color? So do you hear that in the background? I don't know if you hear that in the background. That's the annoying motorbike people just revving their engine. Please tell me what revving their engine every single day for 2 months, what benefits does that do? They're just doing it to irritate people. I told you guys, didn't I? He's a bit late today, but generally around this time. And it's so bloody annoying. I just have to deal with this crap all fucking day long. All day long. Just a twat. Just revving his engine. And like, there's like a group of like 5 of them. And just recently 2 more have gotten their bikes. So they're just, it's all drug related, man. Because they're just delivering drugs with their stupid motorbikes. Irritating. You didn't get a car, could you? It's in my head in, man. Right. I just wish to escape these idiots. That's what I do. Yesterday, they made me so depressed with my shit life that I was in bed. I went to bed 6 times because just depression. That's all I do all day long is get their motorbikes and they rev it. They don't go out with their bikes. They just stay here and rev, and they fix their bikes when their bikes are not even broken. And you know that they're not engineers or anything because they don't know how to fix a bike. They just tighten bolts. They're just being a typical 10-year-old. Absolutely irritating people. You can probably hear them right now. I don't know if you guys can hear them. I'm probably going to have to end the stream soon because it's going to get bad in a minute. Try and do this. Please don't do anything, man. Please don't do shit. Imagine I was earning a wage from YouTube and it was for partly supporting my place. You would have to put up with these arseholes every day with me because I would need to stream and earn money. Luckily, I'm not in that position. But that being said, no one should be in that position. No one should be forced to listen to that crap every day. I have no idea where this. I think it's on Shine. Yes. Every single day, just revving their engines. Like they've got nothing better to do. Children, man. Bikes are useful, but whoever said that bikes have to be loud is a retard. That guy is a criminal. And I hate that kind of monotony, right? Like making noise for your expense. People have their drum and bass and have not found a technology called earphones. It's crazy. They're literally just noise terrorists. That's what they are. Noise terrorists. Need to get out of this place. There's a lot of cleaning up to do, but I think that is better now that I've changed the backgrounds and I've got a split between 2 different angles, the top right and the top the bottom. There's quite a bit of blue in there, but there's also quite a bit of grey, and at least now the top background is not conflicting with the hair. And just like I said, I'm probably not going to do too much more than this. I'll probably end up doing a few bit more, a bit more light here and there, maybe put shine on the nose or something, but I'm generally going to keep it something like this. for the manga for the time being, until maybe I have more time, and then I'll step it up. We'll see. Of course, I will probably do it so that if I do have more time, just suddenly, I will complete the episode first in color the way it is. So you'll never see halfway through the episode the artwork just gets insanely better, like the color, because that is something I want to avoid. I like consistency. Obviously with AI, there's a lot of inconsistencies, so you've got to fix a lot of the work. I would say that out of all the things AI can do, creating a comic book is probably one of the worst things for AI, because it struggles with consistency, character design. And when it does copy images, unless you have a profile ID or an open AI engine that knows your images, it's very, very hard for that to constantly make something that looks like that all the time. It will, for instance, so let's say you've got a bear insignia. Sometimes that bear may have longer ears or short ears. Sometimes that bear may turn into a wolf, so on and so forth. And that's the biggest problem with AI. It's I don't know if that's a problem or a blessing, actually, because it allows people to edit their artwork and correct it. If AI had did everything flawlessly, I guess we really wouldn't be doing much. I think we'd still be doing some stuff because of glitches and errors and consistencies of dark and light scale. But I mean, you can see it's getting it pretty damn correct most of the time. And with this one, I didn't have to edit much at all in terms of line work. So it's getting better, but this is obviously my AI that I use. It's almost 7 months. Yeah, it's been 7 months now, maybe 8 months, because I did kind of started last year. It's starting to get used to my character design, so it's making less and less mistakes these days. But yeah, that's Omnipotent. I'm gonna stop streaming now because the biker gang is probably going to start going up and down the road and doing wheelies and whatnot. So I'm gonna save you the depression of that. If you guys want to check out my other social media, you can find me on platforms like X. The comic book itself is on Webtoons. Just type in Omnipotent and you can find that name on my YouTube channel. There should be links that go to it. So that'd be on a comic book, it'll be on Webtoon. It is in black and white, so just bear with me. It won't be until season 1 is fully done. I will be colouring stuff in, and I will only be colouring in from the last sunset onwards, because I want to redo episode 1. Episode 1 was panel artwork. So typically you see it in manhwa. You do see it in manga. You do see it in manhwa, but it's more kind of like, so manhwa is Korean, but you do typically see it in like hybrids of Japanese Korean comic books. But I think like the vertical slice that Webtoon wants is more what people like to watch these days. So that's basically what I've switched to just recently, is the vertical slice. And I do need to like fix a little bit of my vertical slicing. It's just at the moment it's just layer. There's no real space between each layer, and I could create that. Something I do need to learn. Again, it is my first comic book, so I'm still learning a lot about spacing and dimensions and all that stuff. Yeah, so you can find me on there. I also stream on Kick, but Kick has just been recently a bot fest of people just joining my stream to spam their crappy link, which links to their gambling website or their third-party website. So I stopped streaming on Kick because of that. Has a lot of potential, Kick, but it's infested with gamblers, so I don't like that. Twitch is annoying because they are feminists. If you're not a woman, you are more likely to get banned from something you say. Speaking politics or whatever a bit too much, probably get banned. But if you're a female, you seem to get away with even saying the most brash things. So Twitch is annoying. I think YouTube is probably the best platform in the entire world for streaming, because I know that it's not really a good streaming platform, but it is such a good hybrid because you can do videos, shorts, you can stream, you can do posts, and it's, to me, even though that I've had horrible trouble with demonetization and even what looks like shadow banning on my other accounts, YouTube is still one of the biggest platforms that allows people to actually just become known. And just recently we hit 1,000, I think 1,200 subscribers. Now I have not checked in a while. I believe we're at 1,200. But anyway, so yeah, I think YouTube is probably going to be the one that we stay with. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I also got Ko-Fi. If you want to go and join me on Ko-Fi, there's an art gallery. It's mostly a few panels here and there, concept arts, character designs. You can see people like Sovereign. That's changed over the years. I've got a few things to post in there, storyboards and whatnot. It's more of a illustration platform. There is a little shop in there if you want to buy some digital prints. They are 100% digital and all hand painted. So if you want to buy yourself a digital paint, I can't roll out the physical side of it because that costs way too much money. The canvas costs like £15 to buy at shop, but it costs £60 to get it digitally printed. So I would have to, a big canvas that is. So I would have to charge something, and then you have VAT and shipping. So I would have to pay at the end of it somewhere in the region of like £100 just for a canvas print, and I don't feel like that is really susceptible right now. So I'm keeping it to digital side, and they're roughly like £5 each. If you want to buy one, then you can buy one there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There will be another YouTube video coming out soon about Quinha, which is also known as Deception. I just created a brand new backstory for the entire Omnipotent scenario regarding a certain child of certain gods. So we're going to put that into the YouTube lore, and then we're going to do the Grand Oni lore video, and that should tie the entire reason why the world is as it is. And it's going to be a really good video. I'm doing it in, it's kind of like, I'm doing it with AI, motion AI. So instead of just still images, it's going to be like 20 or 30 clips of 1 to 2 minutes, probably like 1 minute realistically to 2 minutes, clips of these people doing stuff. And it's going to be like a little movie. So that's coming out. And then I probably do the same for Granderny. But that does take a long time because Grok is only allowing me to gen 5 images at a time, and then I have to wait like a day. So that does take a long time because I just can't bother to generate. Subscribe to another AI platform. I've got plenty already. Don't really need more. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That video is probably going to tie everything together, and once you guys watch that video or videos, because there's going to be one on the Granderny too, you should understand the jigsaw puzzle of the full comic book. Because like I've said before, the comic book is very much at a point where it is a massive question mark. What the fuck is this? And I want it to be like that, because when it's like that, it's either pushes people away, which is good, because there are certain people I want this to watch, and I want people to move away from it because I know what they're like. I don't like woke people or woke culture, and to me this is like very much a base kind of reaction to what the world is, and it's based around like religion and morality choices and stuff like that. You'll never see anyone with pink hair or rainbow cheeks in my anime. So I kind of wanna have the right type of audience. You never see anything like that, and I would never do anything like that. So I would never sell my story so that people can do that either. I am probably going to, if anyone does bring me up one day to do something with the series, then sure. I mean, like, we will probably do some sort of shared, not IP, but give them the rights to uh, publish whatever they need to do, you know. But that's getting ahead of myself. Just right now, we want to get the comic book done, and the comic book is basically in the far future right now, which confuses a lot of people. Who are these people? Why are these people this powerful? When did these guys get these powers? So on and so forth. And once I've done season 1, which we are about to end episode 2 soon. There's probably like 10 more. I think there's about 10 more pages, and then we have ended episode 2, and then we will do episode 3, and we'll see where that takes us, because that's going to be the Siege episode 3. That's probably going to be another 30 pages, and once that's done, we move on to the Ivory Tower fighting Daiku Kaimon and Draco, and then realizing the Dwarven plot later, and then Sovereign challenges the Grand Oni, which was the original art for Sovereign. I actually think I have it on Ko-Fi, but I might have it here. I do. So it was originally, you can find this on my Ko-Fi. I open it up on Krita. So this was the original concept art for the entire series. So he's basically shouting at the gods, blaming them for uh, everything that's happened. And this is what basically makes the Grand Oni come down from his heavenly realm and fight Sovereign. And this is the very first time Sovereign starts to become, instead of just a warrior, a king, a commander, he starts to become what's known as an Oni warrior, which is basically it's like Goku getting Super Saiyan Blue for the Super Saiyan Blue for the first time, or Super Saiyan Red, or let's just call it Super Saiyan God, right? For the first time. That's basically what an Oni warrior spirit is. And there's going to be like an entire arc of Sovereign just fighting this guy. But we won't do it until we've gone. We just leave this panel open to him challenging the gods, and then we're going to go all the way back to younger versions of Sovereign. So his hair's going to be shorter. He's going to have a complete different costume. He's going to look like a noob costume, and then we're going to slowly transition to a young Sovereign, to a bit older, to a middle age Sovereign, which is roughly the age of 35, roughly. And then, his brother, Red Eye, will slowly get the Oni Spirit, get corrupted. We're jump into the lore of Crucio ring, and we start to see Sovereign's Oni Spirit. We start to see Kefirion, and all the other characters will start coming into the story that was shown on YouTube. And we'll lead up to where we are now with the current episode. So if you really think about it, what we're doing now is kind of like hook material for Omnipotent, to get people asking, who are these people? Why are they here? When did they get powers? What makes them the way they are? Why is everyone dead in the main story, but the main story has just started, and so on and so forth. I wanted to kind of step away from the traditional kind of manhwa, manga, anime in general, where it's all happy, fluffy, and I'm level 1, and I'm gonna be a level 500 by the end of end of season 2, which I wanted to escape. I wanted to escape that because it just feels like there's just so many animes like that, or comic books like that. I'd rather have everything already there and then downgrade them all and then show how they got there. So it's kind of like hook material, I guess you could say. But it basically leaves a massive question mark, like, where did it come from? Who are they? So what happened with them all? And then only until later you start realizing their backstory. You start realizing who they are, the choices they made, what alignment they have really gone with, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much the Omnipotent saga. And right now I've got in. So technically we're currently in. The season is kind of hard to put it down into words because when I create the lore, I rip a lot of it out because it's just jargon. Maybe we keep that in for the novel. I'm not too sure, but roughly where we are now is about season 4 to 5. We'll see how that goes. We might extend it, shorten it. I'm not too sure yet, but I would say that when we get to the flashback, that'll be technically season 1, technically. So this is kind of like the prologue, I guess you could say. So So this, so when we get the young version of something, that'd be like the season 1, and then that will have about 4 seasons of building the characters, which will then lead us to where we are now. And I've gotten all the lore for all of that already done. So I'm refining it. So most of it is in keystones, which is basically like the main parts of the story. And I have stepstones, which are like parts that lead to that. And then I have drifting stones, which are basically, for instance, Astra's in the main story, but then we completely, and Sorel's, and then we kind of like completely go away from those characters. And it's like 2 years of just, showing the main character in their time. And those drifting stones parts are like character arcs. So for instance, like Dragon Ball Z has like the Moro arc, stuff like this. And that's what I'm going to be doing with some characters. For instance, Allfang is going to get a completely arc, a huge arc, which is going to spread to other mini arcs eventually with Domak, because there's a lot going on in my story. Deception alone, who was known as Quinha, when she got cast out of heaven, it took her 1,000 years to actually reach the planet. So within that time, she saw God create new planets, new life, and she just got more angry and jealous. So, and during that time, other things were transpiring that she was trying to control. So there's a huge amount of time between Deception's fall and the rise of Sovereign's becoming an Oni warrior. It's somewhere in the region of like 1,000 to 1,500 years. And then you've also got spirit walkers who are a little bit older than that, just a little bit, like 500 years. So realistically, the entire saga timeline can stretch out to something like to maybe about 2,000 years to something like 2,500, 2,000, or maybe 3,000 even. Because when someone becomes a god, you're really you're literally immortal now, and you don't get hungry, you don't die, you don't need sleep. These things become an kind of like a delicacy. Like, you don't need to eat, but it tastes good. You don't need to sleep to get energy, but it feels good. And so on and so forth. It becomes a different type of thing. So that's pretty much the project, where we are, where we're heading, and yeah, I'm going to donate 10 years to this project and then see where I am. I think after the 10-year period, maybe I'll start to do some sort of marketing. We'll see. But I really do want to get at least season 4 down before I start thinking about that, because everything in the world, whether it's a project or a hobby or something that you need to do, always needs a good foundation. If you build something on plywood or whatever it is, then you put a bunch of heavy weight, well, the foundation is going to break and it's going to snap. So everything needs to have a good foundation, and then from that you can start and grow on that foundation. But yeah, so if anyone's interested, links are in the description. If they're not, I'm a dumbass and I will put them in later on. Just watch another video. You'll see all of them, the links in my YouTube shorts. But yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next live stream.